Okay, everybody. Well, welcome to another episode of Just My Opinion. I know we've been talking a lot for a while on the live and everything, and we're trying to set it up a little bit better. But now that we're ready, thank you for the people here. You gotta make some noise. You gotta make some noise. There you go. There you go. Okay, guys. Today is a special episode. Today is a special night. Of course, if you already seen our episodes on Just My Opinion, our podcast. My name is Brian, Lorenzo, Greg. We got two extra special guests today with Mike Dove and Sam Rizzo. So, before that, don't forget, like, share, follow, subscribe. That's important, guys. That's important. But, one more time, subscribe. There you go. You got to subscribe. You got to like. This doesn't cost anything. You just like it and that's it. Move on. Yeah, like and share. Like and share. That's right. There you go. No, before we all start asking questions or anything, I know you guys are waiting for the interviews and stuff. I'm gonna ask our guests here to talk a little bit about yourself, and what got you into like this sport or fun facts about yourself. I'm gonna start with you, Mike.
Oh, you gonna start?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with you. Yeah.
Well, what got me into boxing? We used to box outside in the field. And I was knocking people out. So they said, well, why don't you just box for real?
That's some fun fact. Knocking people out.
So it started with that. And then, I went down the crunk and Greg happened to come in. He didn't look like he looked now, but nothing like he looked now. But we started together and,
How did he look, though? How did he look?
Shut up.
No, I'm curious now. I want to see his. That's the whole point.
He's about 301.
Okay.
Man.
And so, we started boxing, man, and it kind of just took off from there. We started fighting in all kind of big tournaments and stuff like that, and it turned into something for us,
Nice. So he was 301 then?
Yeah, 301.
Okay, gotcha. But you're not too far from there right now, are you?
Wow. Don't let them do you like that, Coach.
Ain't out of that one.
We don't really have to worry about that. Most people can't understand him anyway. We don't have to worry. Most people don't even have a clue what he said. Virtual sitting in front saying, I understood.
I got it. No, we're gonna turn it to you, Sam. Like, what about you?
Yeah, I started boxing when I was a kid. I grew up around a gym, and my dad just asked if I wanted to try it. I was like, yeah, why not? I was just a young, hothead kid. I was like, let's go. I can go to a place where I can just go fight people all day, and it's fine, and it's okay. I was like, yeah, let's go try that. And I kind of had a little bit of a thing for it, and I fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since. And then I met Greg. When did we meet? It was about 2015 or 2016.
You were 16.
Yeah, I was about 16 years old. And it was like fate. I mean, I was going around from gyms trying to find trainers, all this. And then I had my mom helping me out. And she was just Googling up boxing trainers in the area. And we found a link for a guy named Greg Wright. And so I checked it out. And I told my mom, well, this is title boxing. This is just a fitness class. I'm trying to box, like for real, not, just go do a workout. She's like, go try it. So I did the class, and I know Greg can remember I was trying to really prove my point by going to this fitness class. I was so bad. I was just beating up a bag. I was going crazy.
Just
no
throwing
style,
punches.
just throwing punches like crazy. It probably looked terrible, but I was trying to.
But in your mind, it was looking so cool.
In my mind, I thought I was really doing something. I'm bringing down this bag. I'm hitting it hard. It's making these crazy slapping sounds.
It was god awful.
You really? Talk to us about when you saw him the first time. Like, talk to us about that.
Ask him what I told him. I said, you
What
box?
was that?
Yeah. You used to box? Like, I asked him that day, first day, I said, what was that? He was swinging. I'm telling you, he was killing the bag.
It sounded good on the bag.
Hey, it was just a bunch of slapping. And he trained with me for like a year and a half or so before I ever let him fight.
It was like 2 years.
Okay, I was trying to give you credit here, son. You know, okay, it was 2 years.
I haven't forgot.
I remember his dad coming to me and say,
Long wait.
when is he going to fight? He's been with you for this long. I'm like, do you want to train him? I'm not going to put him back in the ring looking the way he looked the last time he was in the ring.
Yeah.
And then we finally took our first fight. It was a guy who had 32 fights. And this was Sam's first fight with me. He had 8. And his dad now comes up to me and, you really think this is a good fight for him? You really, the boy's got 8 fights. I can't protect him forever.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be all right. And man, he went in the ring and made this guy look like make him look like his first fight. He destroyed him. And at the very last 10 seconds of the fight, Sam got hit with a whop.
With a walk.
And
was that a hook?
Oh man, I
slap.
am furious at this point. Got to the corner, I laid into him. Got off the ring, and his dad comes to me. Oh, would you get so mad with him about I thought he did well. When I got done with his dad, the last thing you want to do with me is right after the fight come to me and ask me anything. I am like still shaking. And he started goofing off and he got caught with a good slap.
Yep.
But if the guy could punch, the fight would have been over. With 10 seconds to go after he dominated the entire fight. And then his dad came and questioned me about the fight. Yeah, that didn't go so well. And he never did it again. Never did it again.
I mean, you learn. I mean,
lesson learned.
I know. That's the whole point. You got to learn from it.
The best story is when the next time I seen Sam, he says, "Hey, what did you say to my dad on after the fight?" I said, "Between me and your dad." He said, "I don't know, because he didn't say anything the whole ride home." That's not like him.
That was the quietest ride I've ever had with my dad in my life.
Say, I don't know what the thing is. It's just no worse comes out of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
Lord.
Good times.
So what about you, Coach? What got you into boxing?
I always wanted to. We were living in New York. There was no pay-per-view or anything like that. So my parents, everyone used to get together at someone's house and listen to Muhammad Ali on the radio. And I remember saying, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." And I kept beating, and from then on, I wanted to be a fighter. I just wanted to do it. And when I got in South Carolina, I started dabbling in it in South Carolina. And then, hormones kicked in. And instead of going to the gym, it was a long way. It was a lot of turns you could have made before you get to the gym. So I did.
Yep.
Made those wrong ended up giving it up until I was watching Dennis Andre's fight Jeff Hardy, 15 years old. And they said Kronk was the best gym in the world. And it's been that way at that time for 20 years. And I'm thinking, if I'm not going to go to college, this is the best place to learn. And I'll never forget, and I've told this story many times. I'm watching the fight, and Dennis Andres is actually killing this guy. And I remember the ref going to Jeff saying, "I'm not going to let this keep going on. I'm not going to let you keep taking a beating like this." And then all of a sudden, Jeff started coming back. And you hear this voice in the corner. Jab this man. Jab this motherfucker. Just jab this motherfucker. Just get around. Don't follow him to the rope. Just jab this motherfucker. And going around. And then the next time, another voice gets in the corner. The 12th round. God damn, man. You gonna let this man come in your home and beat your ass. Man, don't follow that man to the rope. You got the fight won. And later on, my dad sitting beside me saying the same thing. He gonna let this white man come and beat him in his own damn country. And sure enough, Dennis got knocked out. And 8 years later, maybe 9 years later, I'm fighting. I don't remember who it was. I think it was at the Palace. It might have been. But I got hit with something like out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, Emmanuel wasn't in my corner.
Was that a slap too?
Oh no, it wasn't no slap. I don't know what it was, but everything just went like wong, 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 wong. I couldn't hear the crowd, but it was like, move, hold him. And then all of a sudden, and then God damn, man, you got this fight won. And then later on, the next round, I'm a dog. I'm going out there. I'm gonna get him. And then sat down. Gregory, I just jabbed this motherfucker, man. Just jabbed this motherfucker. You got this fight won. And I swear it came back to me. And the next round, the 9th round, I ran so hard. I'm telling you, Ben Johnson, Carl Lewis, if they had a baby, it would have been me. Because I ran that fast. I never, ever, listen to me. I am telling you, I didn't get touched that round. In the 9th round, they gave it to me. I ran the entire round. I might have jabbed 3 times. And then I ended up winning the fight. But so that's when I knew it was fate for me to be here. Those 2 guys, 15 years old, I'm watching them in South Carolina. And then 8, 9 years later, I'm in Detroit. And those same 2 guys are saying it to me. So it was a reason that I seen that fight. And it was a reason why that fight happened. Those 2 guys were there. And that's how I survived that fight.
Okay, well, do you learn your lesson too?
Oh, yeah. 34 years friendship. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wow.
He walked in the gym probably like a month before I did. Yeah. And we were friends for 34 years, lost contact for like 10 years. We just didn't talk. And then this place started. And when it started, I'm going down south. I swear I prayed. I was like, God, I just need help. I need help. And I'm driving down south. And at that time, I couldn't even take any more clients because it was just me. Driving down south, out of the blue, Dover called. I'm like, this got to be kidding. This can't be happening. I'm like, Dover? And he's like, yeah. He's, man, I was just looking for a place. My son wanted to start back boxing. God is good, man. God is good. And man,
Got the place for you.
And he's been here ever since.
Yeah.
Back
Nice.
together again.
Nice. Okay, now gonna turn it back to you now.
All right.
So, how do you prepare? Yeah, I got notes and everything. Everybody, I got notes and everything. Yeah, how do you prepare yourself physically and mentally for a fight? Is that like a process, like for you, or
Yeah, it's a process. You got to get, I think, first, you got to get mentally in the zone. You got to think about that. This is not a sport that you play. You're going to be going to fight somebody in front of all your people. Another grown man is going to be trying to come and knock you out, try to hurt you in front of all your friends and family. So you got to really psych yourself out to even begin with that. Training is going to be hard. There's going to be sacrifice. You're going to have to make this. You're going to have to be disciplined for your training camp, and you got to do your running. You got to do your calisthenics, all your working out, everything. It's a. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know. Greg and Mike would probably know, but it's just this feeling. It's just like a weight on your back the whole time. Like, this fight's coming up. I gotta train. I gotta do what I do. And it's just always there until you have that fight. That you gotta be doing everything you need to do.
now both of you as coaches of him? How do you guys handle that? Because I know you get anxious. I already know that. Like, how do you handle that? Like, you get anxious as well? Do you get stressed or?
Yeah, I mean, before the fight and it's like Sam said, it's a weight on you, and it's like we got to get this, we got to do this, we got to train, we got to get all our strengthening training in, and Sam, he real dedicated. I can actually say that he real dedicated to what we doing, and he take it in, and after we get through what we're doing in the ring, him and Greg do their thing, he come over there, we do our thing, and it's a lot on him. You know what I'm saying? And you got to really be dedicated to this, and then that's where the discipline comes out with boxing. You know what I mean? You go through the stage and you keep doing it. The more you do it, the more disciplined you become. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when you're preparing because I seen personally like the stuff that you do with him, do you normally prepare those kind of workouts based on who is gonna fight, or is it normal, like a normal routine that you do?
Well, it's a normal routine, but like for instance, now he going 6-rounders. We moving up to 6-rounders,
Yeah.
so we add a little more to it because of the rounds we going, and then when we go up to 8 rounds, we're gonna put a lot more onto that. You see what I'm saying? And so because that's gonna more strength, more speed,
They get more intense.
yeah, more intense, right? As we move up in rounds, and it's looking good because hey, Sam, his last fight he could have went at least 8 rounds, 10 rounds probably.
Yeah, I felt pretty good after
Yeah,
6.
so after 6, he still looked fresh.
Nice. And then that's the goal, right? Show that you got
Yeah,
more in the tank.
exactly.
That attracts. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, I'm gonna ask you first this, and then you're gonna answer this one. What do you consider to be like his greatest strength, like as a boxer?
His movement, his boxing, him being able to box, and stay on that level like Greg be yelling because Greg was a boxer, you know, a real boxer. So I mean, and you could
You gotta hide your time.
no, and you could see it in Sam. You could see that in Sam in the boxing because Greg was a good boxer. The whole 12 rounds he be moving. So Sam can move the whole fight, and it's frustrating to guys when the guy moving and he's fainting you and moving and boxing and spinning and turning, and he doing it the whole fight. So it's real frustrating to a guy that can't deal with that, don't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Frustrated, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is your biggest strength as a boxer?
I think my biggest strength is just my discipline and my work ethic. I don't think that I came into the sport with any, you know, exceptional talents or skills. I think I work very, very hard at it. Everything that they ask me to do, I do it with no complaints, and I try and do even more than what they ask me to do. And with that work ethic and that discipline and making sure that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, not cheating, not going to the full intensity that I should be doing on my workouts is why that I'm doing so well.
I know you were gonna answer something there.
What Dovo was really trying to say is Greg was scared. That's what he really wanted to say, because I hear it all the time. With Sam and what we work on, I think our biggest advantage is the fact that no one sees the same exact Sam every time. If you look at our opponent, every fight we've watched of him, and I've studied him countless hours, watched the fights over and over and over again, I see the same exact fighter. If you don't believe me, go back and watch all of Sam's fight. You'll never see one that looks the same. So our advantage to our opponents is the fact that he won't have one clue which Sam is going to show up. He can't look at this fight and look at this fight and look at this fight and say, oh, he fights the same. That's our biggest advantage. Change up. We're fighting this fight and we're training for this fight for him only. The next time our next opponent, we'll train for him. So no one will get a chance to see the exact same fighter every single time. So who is he preparing for? He has no clue. None.
Just you guys just look and just
tailor the fight
for that without
tailor the fight just for this guy.
Okay. How did that make you feel? So how do you deal with the fact that you don't know exactly who you're gonna fight? You're just like, okay, I'm just gonna go with whatever my coaches are telling me.
I have total trust and confidence in my team. They're both, Kronk fighters coming from, at the time, the best gym in the world. They've seen every type of fighter. They've been in there with the best of the best. They have all the experience. No, there's nobody with better experience than they have. So I can trust the fact that, okay, this is what they've seen. They've probably seen it a million times. They've probably boxed guys just like this, and they know what worked and what didn't work. And I think what also helps a lot in our training and our coaching style is Greg and I and Mike, we all have like a very good chemistry with each other. And I'm very coachable. And when they tell me stuff, I listen. I mean, we get compliments all the time after my fights. People are sitting ringside. They're like, man, that's like the best we've ever seen a fighter and a coach communicate.
Yeah.
They tell me something and I do it. I don't hesitate. I don't second guess it. Even if I don't see the shot or whatever, they say throw a right hand, I throw it. And usually when they tell me to do something and I do it, it almost always works.
I got a question for you, Sam. So what's some of the most valuable lessons you feel like you learned from either both coaches or one individually? And it could be related to boxing as well.
One of the best lessons I've learned from them, whether it's, I would say it's more life related. And they said that this was a saying they had down at Kronk, and that's leave your bags at the door. And, when you walk into the gym or you're walking, home after work, all day or wherever you go, leave your bags at the door. Whatever baggage you have, leave it at the door and come into your place fresh. If I'm having, personal problems or I'm stressed out or whatever, I come to the gym, I leave my bags at the door. I'm in here, I'm focused, I'm fresh. The same thing where, maybe you have a hard day at work or somebody cuts you off on the way home and, instead of coming home and being angry and yelling at everybody in your house, you leave that baggage at the door, you come in fresh, happy to see everybody. And I think that aside from boxing, that's probably one of the best life lessons I've learned from them.
Now, I'm gonna do the same question, but for you guys, what are one of the best lessons that you have learned from him? Because I know, no, normally we try to like look at it from like, oh, what I learned from this person, but sometimes we don't ask ourselves like, hey, what did I learn from? What did the other person learn from me?
That's a good question.
Um, work,
He's looking forward for that.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty easy for me. I learned what you put in is what you get out. You get what I'm saying? If you go into it and have a half-ass training camp, that's exactly what I'm expecting to get in the ring. And I know once I have, you know, dotted all I's, cross all T's, with Sam, he's gonna give me just that. Um, if and with the other fighters we have, just learning from him, and I told him all the time that if you find a coach that stop learning and think he knows everything, change coaches. I learn from these guys all the time, and I learn from Sam. I mean, if you give it to him, he'll give it back to you. So don't quit pushing him. If you stop pushing him, he'll just stay idle. You know what I mean? And I want him to go further, higher, as high as he can go. But I can't stop. And those are the lessons I learned just by working with him. You can't take it, it's not the sport for you. Because I'm not the easiest. Dover has to calm me down a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he has to calm me down a lot because I can get pretty angry sometimes.
Dude.
You've been in here when I've got a little crazy, right? Yeah. You've been in here when I got a little crazy. So that's what I've learned from Sam.
Yeah, first off, I'm glad Greg didn't say cross our I's and dot our T's. But no, I have to echo what he said though. It's what you put in it, is what you get out of it. So, and that's what it is. I mean, he took the words, right out of my mouth. That's just how I think about it, but we learn more, from like when the things that we do and Sam does it, we learn a whole lot from that. So is the coaching thing it's a transition because believe it or not, every boxer can't be a coach.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Every guy that was a boxer, it don't mean you can coach it. And so it's a learning process when you're doing this. I mean, when I came in, look, I got here right before Sam had his first fight. About a year? Was it about a year? At least a year.
That was September 2021.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, and from there I've been learning, learning how to coach. You learning this every day. You learning how to do things and what works. You know what I mean? The fight really tells you what works. So that's huge for us.
That makes sense. What was that transition like for you, Coach? Going from a pro boxer into becoming a coach. Is it tough mentally? Is it tough emotionally? What was that like?
At first, when you have a long career, you and I got out pretty safe. I mean, injuries to my hand, but I got out pretty safe. Not a lot of injuries. So I first had to take some time off to transition from being, Greg Wright, the boxer. I had to realize that I'm Greg Wright, the dad. Now I'm Greg Wright, the friend. Greg Wright, someone's son. And then after that, I started training others, and that's when I realized it was easy. After you realize who you are, and then I realized that boxing was my job, not my life. That's not who I was. Who I am is a father. God put me on this planet. I realized God put me on this planet to be a father and to be a trainer. And He just used boxing as a vessel for me to do what He put me on this planet to do. I think I'm a much better trainer than I was a fighter. I learned a lot from boxing, and when I accepted my role, and my role is a trainer, I just happened to learn how to box to be able to be here for Sam and to all the other people that I help lose weight or have more confidence in themselves, and to be able to instill some of that discipline into my kids. So I believe boxing was just a vessel. It wasn't who I am. That is not who I am. There will never be a picture of Greg Wright in this gym of my boxing career. Never. It's not about me. This is not about me. This is about him. This is about the fighters that are coming up through here. It's not about me. I've had mine.
Yeah, you're like your time was your time.
Yep.
Like,
that's my
good
memory.
to recognize.
Mhm.
That's good. A lot of people don't recognize that and try to make it about themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, that was your time. Like when it was your time, it was your time, but it's not your time anymore. So a lot of people don't accept that.
I get asked a lot, why don't I have pictures up here of me? Why do I need them? I know exactly what it looked like. I know what it felt like. I don't need them in here at all. I need new memories. And I'm going to try to help these guys make many memories as they possibly can. And that's what it's about. And if I get a belt on this wall one day, I've done my job.
It will come.
Mm-hmm.
This way, isn't it?
It's coming.
No transition. I'll be crying in a minute.
We didn't bring
I was hoping we'd take you there. I was like,
guy is
last
too
time.
sentimental. Yeah, I want to start crying out here.
Do not bring up wall.
Then I'll
Brought
bring up.
him up.
Nope.
What?
That's a done subject.
People gonna want to know now. Look, you didn't brought up.
I know. It's almost
Look, they gonna be like, who was what?
almost like he has to now.
I know,
That's
it's-
the
it's
situation,
just
fam.
left
Walt was
everybody
my
on a
trainer,
big
and that's the end
cliffhanger.
of it.
Yeah.
We'll
So
let
what
you
was your
recover. Let you
training?
That's
recover.
it.
Okay, your only
Shut
trainer. That was the only trainer. Well, you already brought it up.
Yep. Walt was my trainer and one of the best men I know. End of discussion.
Okay.
Did y'all both train under Walt, or you had a different coach though?
Walt would mess with me and train with me, you know, and tell me things. I would listen to Walt, you know. Walt, but he was too busy cussing out Greg, so I don't want to get into that, you know, all the time.
Nah,
So,
I feel you.
y'all think Greg goes off on people in here?
That's where you got it
Down
from.
that crunk when he was.
That's
getting
where he
threw
got
out
it
the
from.
gym.
That's where he got it from. There you go.
I can only train the way I've been trained.
Most def.
Mm-hmm. Didn't kill me.
No.
Yeah, but as far as me, I had, you know what, boxing has taken me a lot of places. You know, I got to see a lot. I got to do things a lot of people dream of doing. Seriously, I mean, yeah, I got to be around people and hang out with celebrities and miss boxing because I was hanging out with them, you know, that kind of stuff, all the bad stuff. You know, so boxing for me it's been a eye-opening thing, you know, because a lot of that stuff I know I don't want to do it because I got a little taste of it, you know, and I wouldn't want to live that lifestyle, you know. But like I said, it took me a lot of places, and I got to just have fun doing it. You know, it was fun boxing. You know, the fight is the fun part. The training is the hard part. Fighting that's the fun part. You know, and you know, is that excitement, those butterflies is up to here. You know, it's like you're gonna explode. You know, when you walking in that ring,
Oh yeah.
and when you get in there, it's like, dang, you look around, especially when you got all these people out there. You got on some boots and some shorts, and you going out there to fight in front of all these people.
Yeah.
And you going out, and the possibility that you could get knocked out in front of all these people. Because if I had got knocked out, I'd have just laid there in the ring till everybody left. I'd have been too embarrassed.
I want to stand up. Can you take me to the back? I want to stand up.
You were in my corner against Spinks, weren't you?
Yeah.
And my pants came down. I just lost my shorts right in the ring.
Is that something that you fear happen to you? Like if you get knocked out, it's like I want to stand up if I get knocked
No,
out.
I never thought of that, but now that it's in my head, I just hope that I don't know what's worse, getting knocked out, having your pants fall down in front of everybody. I think they both pretty bad. I
I
hope.
would have
Yeah.
my
I hope
pants
neither
right
had
now, you know.
Yeah, I'd rather get my pants. They taped them up though. I went out the next round. I had white tape all around my waist.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I got a question for that. In that same vein, and you can answer it too. Do you feel like you thrive off of the crowd, or is that something that you feel like you got to block out because it distracts you, or it might throw you off your game?
Really just depends on what happened before they get loud. If you get hit with a hard shot and you hear the whole crowd go, ooh, and you're like, oh, what the? You're in your head or sometimes it's a shot that didn't even hurt, but the whole crowd just starts going crazy, and you're like, oh, what the heck?
You made me look back.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But if you are, you just hit the guy with a good shot, or you're doing good, and everybody starts chanting your name, or you can hear it's just so hard to explain. It's like the loudest silence I've ever heard. Like, you're in that ring, and it's so silent yet so loud at the same time. It's like it's just you in that ring, and it's a bunch of white noise, and then I can hear my coach's voices perfectly. But every once in a while, you get that hard shot or something good happens, and you just hear the whole crowd roaring. It's like electrifying. I can't even put it into words how it feels, how to explain it. It just puts you on an extreme high. And then a couple times in my early fights, I wasn't used to that, and I was starting to get a little overexcited and that's when Greg had to, chime in and start yelling at me, settle down.
I remember
okay.
hearing from the top.
You know what?
I was just getting excited.
I never really heard the crowd.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I never heard the crowd.
So you were the type of fighters where like completely
I
walk it off.
I didn't hear the crowd. I know people say how. It's just when you in this, like, I mean, you've probably been there especially when you first started. But I don't know. What about
I don't
you,
even
Greg?
remember my first fight.
Well, I think the very first fight, I think I remember the crowd because it was a palace, and it was like, I remember when we used to get those free cheap tickets.
Yeah.
And we way up there, and I'm thinking one of these days I'm gonna be closer to the ring. and then when you finally get a little closer to the ring, people start knowing you, start being able to go a little closer to the ring. I'm like, one day I'm gonna be in that ring. One day. And I remember walking out that tunnel and seeing all those damn people.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm getting like butterflies thinking of it right now.
Yeah. And what was the song? I remember the song. Nope.
That one?
Montel Jordan.
Oh.
This How We Do It? That's the song I came out to my very first pro fight. And after that, everything went blank, I think. I don't remember much after that. I remember I won. Yep. But other than that, I can't remember. If your mom's in the crowd, you can hear that voice. I don't care how far she's away, you can hear it. My mom came to 6 or 7 of my fights, and yep, I knew exactly where she was sitting as soon as she opened her mouth. So other than that, besides my mom and my trainers, I don't think I hear much.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. You
about 15,000 people.
You're just so focused on the fight.
Yeah, you learn to tune it out. You learn to not hear anything. Yep.
Okay, so obviously when you're boxing, and I think everybody that do boxing here kind of have been through this. Like, you get injured a lot or once in a while. Like, how do you handle those physical injuries? Like, not just physically, but also mentally. Because I know it does take a weight on you when you're gonna fight again or you're training again. You're like, my shoulder will be fine, like my elbow will be fine.
The way your health.
Yeah, like how do you handle that, like mentally and physically?
I'm going to answer that one.
I probably know what he's going to say.
I'm going
We're probably going to say the same thing.
The bottom line is to it is we talk about injuries after fights. We don't talk about them before.
And that's how you mentally get.
Yep. Doesn't make a difference. Fight's going to happen anyway, so why even talk about something that you can't change?
Now
we can move on.
And you all know, too, you talk about an injury or Greg, it just in one ear and out the
Yeah,
other. He's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, okay. You got other body parts to use.
Exactly right.
Yeah, no, and a follow up question with that too is like, I don't have it here, but like they just came up where you guys were talking. Like, I know when you were amateur, it was like a little rough time before you get to pro, and one of those rough time was like freaking COVID came in.
Mm-hmm.
I know,
Yeah.
I was there with you. Like, how we never talk about it. Like, how did that make you feel? Like, how do you just overcome that?
I mean, it did get kind of tough thinking, like, when is this gonna end? When am I gonna fight? When am I gonna fight? When are we gonna do this thing gonna be done? And we can finally have our fight that I've been training so hard for. That did get tough. It started to feel very repetitive, just every day for a year or two, just training with. I mean, right now, we're training every day, but I know there's
There's
gonna be
a
a
goal,
fight
yeah.
in a few weeks. Here's like, okay, is this gonna be another year of this? Is it gonna be another month of this? Nobody knows. But then, like at the same time, like I've said before, I just love doing this too. So I would be doing it every day regardless. But it was, there was just like this long time of just like, okay, are we gonna have a fight? Because I'm
Then it
training
got
for a fight. I
frustrating
want
at
to
the
fight.
time?
Yeah, it was just frustrating because you wanted to have the fight
Yeah.
in front of all your friends and family that you've been working so hard for, and it's just you have no idea when
going
it
like
was gonna
that.
happen.
And I think when all this was happening, Sam came to me with these, oh my God, I'm training for. It's like nothing's happening. When is this going to be over? First thing I said to him was, Sam, it's part of the business, my man. It's going to get to the fact where you got $100,000 on the line and you're 3 days before the fight and it gets canceled. You're going to have to deal with those times too. We weren't the only ones going through COVID.
Yeah.
The whole world was going through COVID. So why are we getting upset about it? Nothing we could have done about it. It's just what was happening. I didn't have to go, Dover and I didn't have to go through COVID. We went through other things. We went through when they shut down. No one from Crown could fight. Like that time when Ike Wande had some hepatitis, I believe it is, and it shut our whole gym down. We were all set. What do? Kill Ike Wande? No. We dealt with it. Things happen.
Most definitely. I got another question or two, but I also want to take some questions from the audience. If the audience want to ask some questions after let me ask this question, and I'll take care of y'all. First one, compared to the modern landscape of boxing, what do you think you bring to the game that's different?
I think I bring just a very you don't see a lot of boxers nowadays that kind of like an old school mentality. We're not here handpicking opponents or saying no to anybody. We're fighting whoever they give us. I'm fighting a guy coming up with 17 fights. He's been on Showtime. He's got big fight. He's had big fights, big names. And I only got 7 fights. Most guys I think right now would be like, maybe that's too hard of a fight. Let's get us a guy with more losses or whatever. But I don't think we want to bring that to boxing. I think boxing is losing a lot of its following, a lot of its crowd to the MMA world because the MMA guys don't care. It's if you're better than me or if you're ranked above me, I want to fight you. I want to fight. They got losses, just like their time. All the best boxers, they all had losses because it was the best
most
fight, the best.
definitely.
They didn't care. They weren't padding records. I mean, this is what I want to do. I love the box, so why wouldn't I want to fight the next best guy? And I think we bring that. I think we bring an element of, kind of like that. Like I said, that old school mentality. Just let's get in there, let's fight. And that's it.
What about you, Coach? Same question in relation to Sam.
Basically the same. The thing that I think most about the fight game now compared to the fight game then, right now, the fighters are dictating who they fight. The fighters are dictating what kind of fight they have. Because back in the day, we had managers. Now fighters are managing themselves because of the fact they don't need managers because of, you know, all of the internet service they have. You know what I mean? The world can see them without a manager marketing them. With Sam, on the other hand, I believe the advantages that he has is the fact that he boxes old school and new school style. And I am not saying boxing isn't evolving. I know it is. But what we understand as a team is the Hearns era learned from the Ali era. The Ali era learned from the Sugar Ray Robinson era. And so what we're doing, we learned from the Tommy Hearns era. And so what I'm trying to do with Sam and our team is teach them from our era, but not forget about the Tommy Hearns era, not forget about the Ali era, not forget about the Sugar Ray Robinson era. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to put it all together and start and end with the jab, which you don't see very much these days. So that's what I think right now, that we are fortunate that the fact that we both put our heads together, and like Dover will watch something or I'll watch it, and we'll come back to each other and we'll go, you see that spot right there? And we'll both agree on it. Or we'll agree, or I'll say, I like that spot. And Dover will say, yeah, but I think we should get out this way, not this way. So that's how we put it together. And I think that's what makes Sam different. And that's why I think this opponent is going to see something different on the night.
Most def. All right, one more question, and you can answer this first, Sam. Then you two can answer it, and it can be relation to Sam too. What's some of your biggest personal goals for your boxing career, as far as where you see yourself going, or what you would like to achieve?
Yeah.
You say money?
Yeah,
It
definitely.
could be money. You never know.
Definitely. I mean, it gotta
never
be there,
know.
right?
Some people want money, some people want the glory.
This, you know, at the end of the day, this is a business. As much as we love to do it, this is a dangerous sport. There's not a whole lot, for most people, there's not a whole lot of longevity in it. People who do usually have longevity in it, you know, then you talk to them later in life and you can't understand them. They're loopy. That's the scariest thing to me is, you know, you be 40 years old and you got slurred speech and you're forgetting things and people can't understand you. And so the biggest goals I have is, you know, I really want to fight on TV. I think that would be so cool. That everybody watching you. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I like being out there. I like everybody watching me. I want to be on TV.
If you're doing this already, why not?
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
all you gotta do is watch Sam walk to the ring. He be pimping when he walks to the ring. Y'all see him walk to the ring, right?
Hey, you never know what it could lead to, too. You know, I might get on some commercials, maybe like
it can happen.
Maybe
I
a little
mean,
TV act. Who knows? But yeah. So I like, you know, big goal of mine soon. You know, once we win this fight and you start getting bigger fights, I'd like to start getting TV fights. I'd like to start traveling more to fight in different places, seeing places that I wouldn't be able to see if I wasn't going to these places to fight. And then, like Greg said, I mean, the money. I mean, this is a dangerous sport. I'm getting punched. You know, I'm getting beat on. I might as well get paid for it too. You know, as long as I
it's
can.
an
provide.
entertainment too.
It is entertainment.
People pay to watch that, no? So yeah, money definitely is always there.
And everyone wants the prestige of it. Also, everyone wants that title. Everyone wants to be world champion. But world champion in one hand, $1 million in the other hand. I'm putting the world championship in the trash can. I'm putting it in the trash can. Give me the $1 million. I'll buy a belt that looks just like that one. You know what I'm saying? And Sam said, you know, he wants to fight on TV. God, that was my goal. I want to fight on TV. It gets old real quick. Wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock because you have to be at weigh-in at 7 because you're the first person to get on the scale. Then you have to have an interview at 7:30, and you are jumping at every single command. We need you here. We need you here. We need you here. And that's before you win the championship. And then when you win the championship, you know what you do? 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm still sleeping. Their phone ringing off the hook, and I'm shaving my head. Yep. What are they going to do? Have the main event without me? Yep. So you get your moments to get back. You get what I'm saying? But if I could have made the same kind of money I made off of television that I made on TV, I would never fight on TV. I would have never fought on television again.
Interesting.
That's
interesting.
It was just me.
Uh, I actually wanted to go back to when you asked what the goal was. I think overall our goal is to have a winning environment, and it starts with Sam. And everybody's gonna follow that. Sam get up there, they know we can do this. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what the overall goal is. You know what I mean?
No, it makes sense.
It's to have a winning environment started. And Sam kicking it off pretty good. So I think we just gonna keep moving forward with that, and I think it's gonna happen.
Most def, most def. All right, I think we should start asking some questions.
Go
Let's
for
go
it.
ahead. All right.
I know somebody had a question.
I better take this too far, but I'm
Yeah.
as close as I can.
Oh, yeah, of
Oh,
course,
you get to
yeah. You
come
gotta
up to
ask
the
the
ring,
question
too?
to the future champion on here. So go ahead, throw your question.
So this question is specifically for Sam.
Okay.
You talked about the strenuous working out,
Yeah.
strenuous workouts, the heaviness that is on you preparing for a fight. How do you take care of yourself? Talk a little bit about what are some of your self care practices, and how are you taking care of yourself even after the fight?
Good question.
That's a good question.
Think, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of it to do is, excuse me, a lot of it has to do with what you do outside of the gym. Are you eating right? Are you eating healthy? Are you leaving here and you eating junk food? Are you eating pizza? Are you eating ice cream? Whatever. I make sure that I'm taking care of myself outside here. I'm in training. I'm usually cooking and preparing all my own food. I'm using a lot of fresh ingredients, a lot of whole foods, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables. I'm making sure I'm getting sleep. I'm making sure when I'm out of here, I'm not stressed running around. I'm relaxed and I'm letting my body chill out. And I think that that's a big part of it. When I'm making weight for my fights, I do it in a healthy way. I do it all through my diet. Whereas a lot of guys, in their training camp, they eat whatever they want, whether it's really bad food, really processed foods, and then they have all this weight to cut, within the last week or two, and they just do it in a very unhealthy way. They're trying to put sauna suits on and starve themselves and dehydrate themselves, and I think that's probably very bad on your body in the long term. So for my self care, like I said, I'm just trying to do things maybe not necessarily the easiest way, because it would be so much easier to leave here tonight and just grab a pizza on the way home. It'd be delicious too. I would love that. But I know that that's not the healthy way to do it. And so by just, doing things a little bit less
Smarter.
convenient way, a little smarter way, a little bit
Yeah.
more healthy is how I keep take care of myself outside of doing all the hard workouts in the boxing.
I think it's the smartest way to do it because then, like, you don't wait till the end, like you said, and then dehydrate or do that, and then you're like all weak for the fight. You do it that way. It's harder, like you say, it's harder, but it's smarter too. So there you go. Who else got a question? Oh, there you go.
I think you answered it already, though. I was going to ask you how you choose your opponent, but you kind of said you pick anybody, yeah?
Yeah, I don't choose my opponent. There's matchmakers for every fight, and they come to my team and they say, "What do you think about this guy?" And I leave that up to my coaches. I trust them. They think that we can beat the guy, and it's a good fight. Then yeah, I say I'll take it. I'm not gonna say no. I trust them.
I have another question. So I think your technique and your mental toughness make you a great boxer. Where do you think your mental toughness comes from? Like, have you always been mentally tough as a kid, or your parents help you? Or...
Yeah, I think a lot of my mental toughness comes from my dad. My dad's been self-employed since before I was born, and he's always been a very, very hard worker. And me and my brother, my older brother, we grew up working for him. Sometimes I think that's why he had sons, was for labor. Every 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 summer, every day, we'd spend it helping him work, moving concrete statues around, or being 8 years old trying to pick up 80-pound bags of cement, or just moving stuff around. And so we're always working. We always see my dad working morning, night, because like I say, he was self-employed. So if he wasn't working, who was? So he was able to instill a lot of work ethic in us, and I think that's where I get it from.
Also, I want to add that as far as the opponents, like Greg said and Sam said, we don't run from opponents. Sam fought a guy 6'4", he's 5'7".
Yeah,
You know,
and a
twice.
softball, and a softball.
And he was a softball.
He had all the advantage.
So the opponents that come, we take them. You know, we ain't just gonna take this. It ain't just be crazy, but we look at the guy and we can beat this guy. We knew we could beat that softball, although he was 6'4", softball, 6'4". You know, arms is here to you.
No, fighting at 130. That's like
it was like
It's
fighting
crazy.
a praying
130
mantis.
pound, 6'4" guy. Come on, man, that's
Yeah, it
crazy.
felt like fighting a praying mantis.
Yeah, so we knew we could beat him though. You know?
You know what's funny off that is after that fight, even when we had the first fight with him, everybody in the back, fighters, coaches, even fans, they're like, "We can't believe you took that fight." You like, they're like, "We watched this guy come out to the ring and you guys were touching gloves," and everyone was like, "No way! Like, why did Sam take this fight? Like, you had all the disadvantage." And all the other fighters and everything were like, "Yeah, I would have never took that fight." And it's like, why not? Why not?
Most definitely. All right, got another question from
So Sam, I really enjoy watching your fight. So can you give some details on a fight you're most proud of and one you maybe learned the most from?
great question.
it's gotta be amateur and professional, or just professional. Either one. Okay. Got
You
five
know,
for you.
I think that looking back, I'm not sure. Maybe Greg can chime in on this, but I have a hard time thinking of one specific fight, just because I have a different viewpoint of fights because I'm seeing it from the inside, whereas my coach Greg sees it from the outside, so he knows. But like we had said earlier, you know, each fight we fight differently. We're learning new things because we're training for the opponent. So to me, you know, each fight I'm very proud of because a lot of times for the fight we're learning something new or we're trying something different for tailored to that guy that we're gonna be fighting. Yeah, I'm gonna need my coach Greg to chime in on this one because he's got the outside view.
Amateur, easy. Pontiac. They hyped this guy up. He was strong. He was knocking everyone out.
He was their guy.
They hyped him up. You know, couldn't get him a fight. We went in the ring for 3 solid rounds and made him look like a Pez machine.
Yeah.
That's 3 rounds. I mean, Sam got hit once because he listened to someone else and stayed too long and got punched on the arm, and it looked like it hurt me. That the boy punched so hard, and I almost threw the bucket in the ring. Do it again. Do it again. Stay there one more time. One more time. I want you to stay there.
It wasn't
I
my
would've stopped
fault. The guy sounded like Greg. The guy sounded just like Greg. The guy sounded just like
there
Greg.
was like a confusion.
I was confused. I was like, "Did Greg really want me to stay there and throw a
Hold
body
up.
shot?"
Hold up.
I was
Nova.
like, "Well, I'm gonna do it."
Nova.
Was he with the other cat?
Oh, Lord.
No,
Yeah,
he was
with
with
us.
us. He was
Wow.
Erskine.
That's
No.
funny.
Sounded just like Greg. at the
You've
time.
known me for 34 years. Does it sound like me to tell you to stay there?
No, Greg never.
I was confused.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it either. But I was like, I'm gonna just listen to him
And okay, professionally, it was the guy who puked in the ring.
Oh, I remember that one.
Not because he puked. It's because this little midget. I don't know if you can say that, can you? You can't say midget
I
anymore.
said it.
Oh, I don't think so. But you already
Remember, it's just my opinion.
Hey, hold on. Who's who?
So he was walking by saying, "Jay gonna knock him out. Watch. Jay gonna stop him. Jay gonna stop him. Jay gonna stop him." And he's going back and forth past our locker room. And I was gonna flip. And when the fight started, we stuck to the game plan, stick to his body. I'll tell you when. Keep it clean. And it was the best fight I ever seen. I was the proudest moment of mine watching him dissect this kid who was supposed to knock us out.
Well, not only that, they got out coached. they got out coached because they was sure that this guy was gonna beat Sam. You know what I'm saying? And Sam just boxed him, hit him to the gut. That was it. That was it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That's why it was my favorite.
Yeah.
That was
I agree
crazy.
with you on that. You know, yeah.
That was crazy. I've never seen anybody actually puke in the ring mid fight.
Right, that round wasn't even over. That was just literally right there.
I know.
Yellow stuff.
I know.
He almost puked like when you were gonna hit it again, and that's when he puked. I was
you know-
like, "Whoa!"
You know, I do got to give him props though for being a good sport because thank God he turned his head away.
Yeah.
Because in the middle of the fight, you're hot, you're sweating, you're breathing. If he would have puked on me,
you would have
hit my.
you're like, "What?"
And listen, when Sam turned around,
It would have been
Puke
over.
again.
I would have been done.
when Sam turned around and looked at us, he was like,
I know he put his gloves on. And I'm like,
I'm like, yes, it's over, Sam. This is over.
now they just gotta clean this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
We got another
that was
question
awful.
there.
So I don't so much have a question as I do more of just bringing it to light to people who are listening to this now or who may listen to it later, and they're listening to this interview and they're hearing a lot about the working out and all the time that you have to put in, all these hours. I work out here and I watch you, and I'm not here nearly as much as you are, and I know how much how much work that you put in. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention that he's not only here working out, he also has a full-time job. He's working 40, 50 hours a week on top of this. So if I have a question, it's how do you balance the two? Putting time, into your job to make a living and then having to shift your mindset and come here and be a boxer.
Yeah, so I mean it's tough. I mean I'm in construction. I'm part of the IBEW Local 58. I'm a apprentice electrician, and it's tough. I mean these are construction jobs. A lot of times they're early starts. You're working long hours. You're doing physical labor, and there has to be able to fit all that in, and then go straight from there. Sometimes you gotta. Well, sometimes you got long drives, and so you work all day. Then you got an hour plus drive to the gym. Now you gotta train 2, 3, 4 hours. It's tough, and that's where the discipline comes in. And then you also, this is not a sport that you can do 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So there has to be a sacrifice somewhere, and that sacrifice is basically my life. My social life, my personal life. That gets put on hold while I'm in training because I only have time to work and do my job and then train. And then by the time I get done training, it's basically time to go home, shower, go to bed, and get back to work and do it all over again. So that's, like I said, that's where your discipline has to come in. That's where, because, on a Friday, Saturday night, I could very well still go out and get an hour or two of sleep, but I know that's not going to help me with my job. I know it's not going to help me with my training, and so I don't do it.
And you got to understand, and you have to understand that that's one of the part about boxing that I can't relate to because I was fortunate enough that I didn't work while I was boxing. I got lucky. Not that I was that good, but I just got lucky. And right around the time that I was thinking about getting a job, I ended up getting a good fight, and that went out the window. But I do know this, that your body will get used to anything that you repeatedly do. If working is what there's no way if I had started working at age 30 and boxing at the same time, my body would have ever done it. It would never have made it. But I do know that going to work, all those grueling hours, cannot be a reason or excuse not to be successful. So that's why we don't think about it. We don't talk about it. It's something you have to do. Let's get it done. It doesn't take away from training. It doesn't take away from fighting because your opponent is not going to care that you went to work 10 hours, or 60 hours in a week. They don't care. So those are the things we don't think about. Those are the things that has to be done. We only control the things that we can control. And what we can't control is the fact if he's going out partying, if he's eating the wrong crap, if he's that's the things we control. We don't worry about the other stuff.
Don't eat the crap.
You know, I've come out to a different song every time, and I always think, you know, since we're fighting in Detroit and this is the Motor City, that yeah, I always try to come. I usually try to come out to something very Motowny, very you know, very Detroitish. 'Cause this is where we're at. This is Motown. This is the Motor City.
So you consider where you're
Yeah,
fighting?
this is where we're from, you know, and it's just good music. I feel like also coming out to some cool, you know, Motown music like that, it it almost kind of like people who don't know you and they're in the crowd watching, you almost already got them as a fan because, you know, not everybody at these fights is just young 20-year-olds that only listen to the current music. You got a lot of people there that grew up on this music, and everybody always comes out to the same old rap songs, which, I mean, it's cool. They're hype songs, but it's like it's all the same. It's all the same. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes out and you start hearing, you know, some kind of Motown song come on, James Brown, whatever, or like Al Green.
And everybody expecting to see a little black kid come out.
Yeah.
Who the hell is that?
And then they see me and they're like, wait a minute. They're like, oh, we like that dude. We're already at it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a way to already start winning over the crowd, that people that don't even know you.
Yeah, get their attention to
Yeah, so
you.
it makes you stand out a little bit too. And not only
That's
it's just good music. I mean, it's very smooth music to come out to.
That's good. That's good.
I don't
Okay.
even hear it.
No?
No, my damn heart be beating so damn. My
Why?
heart be like, I
Why?
can't even. Huh?
Why is it beating so
More
hard?
nervous than Sam.
Gonna go fight.
Yeah. What?
Oh yeah, he always.
He's supposed to-
Always.
Yeah.
Hey, oh,
I don't know about
The
that.
week- the week
I
before
hold
the
it in-
fight?
I hold it in pretty good.
1 week before the fight,
Yeah.
if you come in here in the mornings to train, he would just be walking back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. And you're like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
He's like, are you training for something? I was
I-
like, no, man, the fight is like in 1 week. I was like, what?
I
Okay,
think-
you're more nervous than the fighter.
I've been nervous for his own.
Yeah.
Nah, I wasn't.
I think the next video that'd be good to do is go around 2 weeks before I fight, a week or two before I fight, and just film the people we're around and that have to deal
Nah,
with us.
you want to cut me out of that one?
No, not us,
Yeah.
not everybody
Oh.
around us.
Oh,
Because that is, I'm telling you, you want to talk about being irritable. You want to talk about being impatient,
when
nervous, scary, excited.
you know
everything.
when I fought, it was like I didn't want. Don't ask me to do anything for me. Like don't ask me. Do you want me to get you a glass of water? I can get my own glass of water. You know, I mean, I just felt like this.
It's on edge for
If-
no
if-
reason.
If I'm if I'm hurt or and people start doing stuff for me, means I'll stay hurt. It feels like I won't do it for myself. No, I don't want you to ask me if you because it pampers me. The next day, Walt is not going to say, "Hey, how you feel?" No, you got a box today. Let's get in the ring and box. He's not going to ask me if I want water. He's not going to ask me, "Do I want? You want me to carry your bag for you?" No. Then when I get home, I don't want to hear it either. Just shut. Just,
have a
Yeah, that's
flashback.
him going. Yeah, that's
Have a
him going off
flashback.
now, thinking about the
yeah.
old.
So it's like just let a fighter just be. People got to understand. Just leave us alone. Just we walk in the door. You know we're in fight mode. If we need something, we'll ask for it. Don't. The last thing we want to hear is, "Do you want me to get you something?" Just walk away. Just no. I don't want you to get me anything.
I can get it.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
Let me I
You
just
gonna
want to
talk about
add
that?
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you know, like the night of the fight, when we were fighting, they wouldn't let nobody talk to us. You couldn't talk to us. I didn't want to talk. People see me as a calm, cool, collective type person, but during the fight, I was mad. My eyes was red. I had a real attitude, so they wouldn't let nobody talk to us in the back. Somebody come and talk, they said, "Get away from them." They'd make them get away from us because I had an attitude. I had a real attitude when I got in the ring. I was, not the attitude where I'm gonna go in there and just act crazy, but I had an attitude. I was, We get an
You get
attitude.
focused
Edge.
for-
Yeah, it's a real attitude. It's like it ain't nothing.
I
You
didn't know. I
hype
went to
myself.
sleep.
Yeah, Greg was a different fighter though. You know, Greg come out jumping up and down. You had to hold him down. You know, but nah, me, I had a real attitude though.
Mhm. Oh, back in the dressing room for a fight.
It's interesting how everybody got like a
cold,
different
sleeping.
way to handle
Yeah,
it, right?
and they'd wake me up. All right, it's time to get moving around. I'll get that blood flowing. Let's go move around. I'm like, oh. Then I'd start moving around. And I think when you mentioned the fact that I'm more nervous for Sam's fight, and I think it's more like that being on a cruise or on a airplane. I'm not in control. I'm not in control. And when I was in the ring, I was in control. I always knew I thought I could handle it. But when I'm not in control, then I get nervous and then I start yelling and cussing and
Oh yeah.
then it gets
Oh,
bad. Yeah, it gets bad. But you feel like you're going through the fight with them. You know what I mean? I'm sweating like hell when the fight's over. And I just need to go upstairs in the room and have a drink.
And chill.
Uh-huh.
For that.
That's what I just need.
Yeah.
Brent and I, we raced to the room like,
done.
oh, God, it's over.
Completed.
Mm.
There you go.
This gonna be a good win for us, man.
Yeah. I'm sure it will. Now, before we even close this out, I know you talk about like being on TV and stuff like that. You know, we in the boxing sports. Why you look? It's okay. Yeah, the question is for the three of you because this is Team Rizzo. So I got some names here on the 130 pounds division that they fight on TV already.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is, I'm gonna mention these names, and I would like for you guys to tell me like if all these names pop up, who would you take?
Mhm.
Now, I got Oshakie Foster. He's the current champion there.
Mm-hmm.
You got Oscar Valdez.
Mm-hmm.
You got Abraham Nova.
Mm-hmm.
You got Lade Wood,
Mm-hmm.
Robson Conceição,
Mm-hmm.
and Eduardo Hernandez.
Mhm.
Like if one of those names pop up for a chance for him to fight, who would you say?
I'm just say right off the bat, it don't matter. I put this in the hands of my coaches.
If we get to that point and it's a main event fight or undercard of a big fight, you forgot the dollar sign.
Yeah, which one's got the
So
most?
it would-
What's got?
Also,
who's got-
I can tell you who was the
who's
most
got
one.
the most
So
money
the
besides
most money right now will give you will be Oscar Valdez. That will be the main.
That's what we know.
the main guy.
And the bottom line is short. So we sign a contract for the most amount of money, and once the contract is signed, it's a definite. You walk to the ring, win or lose, you go to the bank. So who's going to look at him and call him a loser walking to the bank with $1 million in his pocket? Yeah.
Now,
I want to lose. I want to lose. You know?
take me.
So
I'll attack you.
yeah.
Now, taking in consideration that when I look at these names, I already know how he fight and how you guys teach him how to do stuff. So I already know he can beat these guys.
I
So
know.
So that's why I brought it up.
Valdez is different.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna throw punches, but he's coming right to you. Coming right
yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Coming right
His
to
style
you.
is
It's
just go for
style
it.
makes right.
Yeah.
I think the harder one will be Foster. Yep. Because he's gonna move. He's
He
gonna
won
make.
yesterday.
Yeah, he's gonna
he
want
won
you.
yesterday against.
Yeah. He's gonna want you coming to him, and he's gonna pot shot you.
But he don't have a jab. He don't use
That's the one I'd probably stay away from if we can. But let's be real, it's a business. If the money's right, I'll say, Sam, the money's right. Let's take the fight.
I'll take him.
Because he's not
can beat him.
he's not. I'm not worried about him being a puncher.
Okay, we got our answers. I know you got to bring these type of things to the conversation. Now, well, guys, you got anything you want to say before we close it out?
No, I think we good.
Good. Well, we want to thank you guys for coming in here.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for watching live on Instagram.
Hold up. I think it's kind of wrong for Alberto not to have said something. You could understand what the hell he said.
Alberto, ¿tú tienes una pregunta?
Yeah, bruta.
He say he's fine. You good?
Oh, I thought he said something about bruta. I know he's. Kelly,
I know he know I can translate
Kelly
it.
probably understood him.
He knew I could translate it. No, but guys, follow Sam Rizzo on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow on Spotify as well. Thank you to Mike. Thank you to Sam. March 9th. Doors open at 6:30 in Motor City Casino. So don't miss it. If you don't have the tickets yet, do we got any tickets left, by the way?
Not many.
Anything left or
Not many.
right?
We're running low. They're going
Running low.
very quick.
So just hit us up. Maybe we can find some. So, but hey, watch his fights. Thank you for the support.
I forgot one more thing.
You got one more thing?
Yeah. So for those that's watching the podcast, not the live, the podcast, stay tuned at the end of the episode for a special promo for Sam's fight on March 9th.
I wasn't gonna forget about that.
Yeah, I was just making sure you was closing out.
He
was by now. They like,
Where you got that?
if you get to that one fight, they be
Lorenzo was just making sure everyone could understand that part.
That was it. That's the important part. No, yeah, we got something special. If you guys thought that you were watching everything, no, you're not. We got something special coming up yet.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not the end yet. But thank you for the support. Thank you for following us, guys. Hey, enjoy it.
Peace.
Who ready? We ready.
Boxing is more than just a sport. It is a test of courage, skill, and willpower. It is a battle of mind and body where every punch counts and every round matters. It is a story of triumph and tragedy, of glory and pain, of heroes and villains.
There you go. Yeah.
That's fine.
Here, yep. You pivot out, and you should pivot right back up under.
We will witness the discipline and determination of a great fighter and some of the most intense moments in his training. We will meet someone with the potential of becoming one of the most iconic figures of the sport.
How are you feeling about Sam for this fight?
I think it's going to be probably his best performance.
When I go into a training camp, I got to make sure that I'm very focused and very determined. I got to be locked in.
Boxing may look exciting, but it has a dark side. It comes with dangers and risks that are present in every bout. The ethical and moral dilemmas that face the sport and its participants never goes away.
Training hard, putting together a game plan, step up fight. I'm preparing for it. We'll be in shape. We'll be ready. I can't wait. March 9th, we'll be ready.
It makes you ask yourself hard questions, and it pushes you to find the right answers.
I don't study Sam. I study his opponent. I know Sam. You get what I'm saying? And I study his opponent. And I think the way we coach as a fighter and a team, I believe the fact that we have the ability to outcoach his coaches.
This isn't about boxing. This is about life and what it means to fight for it. This is about what you learn and what you do with it. This is about passion, heart, discipline, determination, and hard work. This is about the epic sport of boxing.